Hi, how are you? I'm here again and I'm happy to see you. How are you doing? Please let me know how you're doing. I'm not just asking for the camera. I really want to know how you're doing, and I'll be waiting for you in the comments to find out how you're doing. Last week, we walked down the street of Hollow Flames, if you remember. We talked about the disappointment of others. But today, for the 8th episode of this show, we're going to turn the camera inward, okay? We're going to walk down the path where the eyes see what the heart hungers for, even if it's not there. Welcome to the 8th episode of Streets of Iheobuna. If you're joining us for the first time, you're home. This space is a sanctuary. It's a place where scars are allowed to speak and buried truths are finally invited to wake. Every week, we walk a new street. Can you guess where we're headed for today? Do you want to guess? Don't even bother. You can't guess. Okay? In this season where we look for signs and wonders, in the faces of strangers, we're walking the street of hungry shadows. How does it sound? Like a horror movie? Well, trust me, you're safe. This is not a horror movie, okay? But we're walking down the street of hungry shadows. I'm your host, Iheobuna, and I'm mighty glad that you're here to walk this reflective path with me tonight. Please drop a note for me in the comments. Let me know who's watching and tell me, be honest now, have you ever been so hungry for love that you started seeing a banquet in a handful of crumbs? So hungry for love that you started seeing things that are not there, that you started imagining things? I'm waiting for your answers. There's a specific kind of hunger that does not grow in your stomach. It echoes in your soul instead. The kind of hunger that makes a simple hello feel like a promise. It makes a smile feel like a homecoming. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we're so desperate, and this can be embarrassing, but it's true. We're so desperate we're so desperate rather for a roof over our heads that we build mansions out of a stranger's kindness. It's almost madness, but it's reality. We move into a life that hasn't been offered to us. We become tenants in a dream, forgetting we never signed a lease. This is a poem I wrote for anyone who has ever misnamed a gesture. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can laugh at ourselves, It's all right. And also, this poem is for those of us who are tired of the uninvited guest living in our chests. I call it squatter. Listen, squatter, almost 3 decades older, yet something shifted in me when I met him. He reminded me of a familiar place, a longing for a father's love, my father's, a protection that only a father can give, the kind a strong youth does not yet understand. He knew my father. I called it a sign from the universe. He showed me warmth. I called it affection. He smiled into my eyes. I called it love. I recognized a lonely soul in him as I recognized it in myself. I created the perfect romance in my mind. One so convincing it felt inevitable. I saw us taking long walks, me reading poems for him telling ancient stories, us
finally
cooking
ready.
together,
Taste this.
giggling
Tell me what you
like
think.
children. Nothing extravagant,
Absolutely
just ordinary love,
delicious. You are
rare and true.
incredible.
Taking long walks? Can two walk together unless they agree? I painted this picture with him in it, without his permission. Pause before you pronounce me guilty. I am guilty, yes, but not without cause. Loneliness. You have overstayed your welcome. How does one evict an unwanted visitor? An invisible one whose presence is as visible as a full moon in a dark, empty sky. Where do I serve you the eviction notice? Which court will try this possession matter? I am entering a state of delusion. Kindness is starting to resemble love, and I risk making a fool of myself. Loneliness. You have a way of teaching the heart to misname what it touches. You turn a gesture into a vow, a smile into a destination. Loneliness. It's a terrifying thing to learn that your heart has been lying to you. I mean, you can handle lies from other people, but your heart can be quite terrifying. In this poem, we see the danger of unspoken agreement, if you know what I mean. We take a man who reminds us of a father's protection, a gap many of us have been trying to fill since childhood. And we tried to force him into this romantic frame he never asked to be a part of. We paint a masterpiece in a canvas that does not belong to us. Loneliness. It's the ultimate squatter here. It doesn't ask for permission. It just barges in, occupies the empty rooms in our lives and begins to redecorate. What a rude guest. It makes us see signs from the universe in the most ordinary gestures, like an innocent smile turning into a destination, But the hardest truth to swallow is the eviction. How do you evict a feeling? How do you stop your mind from, being a possession matter when you're both the landlord and the tenant? How? If you find yourself in this state of delusion today, don't despair. It's not because you're a fool, no. It's because, rather, you're human and you're hungry. But we must learn to call a gesture, a smile, and stop inviting people into lives we've built for them in our heads. How does that sound? We can do that, right? Okay. So every time I read this poem, since I wrote it, I have to stop and breathe. The truth is, most of us have been squatters, in a life that wasn't ours to claim. We have all been guilty of misreading the map simply because we were too tired to walk alone. But I don't want to be the only one talking tonight. I want to hear from you. I want to know what's happening in your heart right now as we stand on this street. I have just 2 questions for you tonight. And I want you to be as honest as I have been with you. So are you ready for the questions? Okay, I'll let you know now. Okay. So I'm going to ask the first question. Have you ever turned someone's basic kindness into a vow just to keep the loneliness at bay? And the second question, how do you serve an eviction notice to a feeling that has overstayed its welcome? Go to the comments and talk to me. I want to hear your truths. Well, thank you for walking the street of the hungry shadows with me tonight. And it takes a lot of courage to admit that we've been painting pictures on walls that weren't ours to touch. I want you to remember one thing. Being hungry for love is not a crime. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Seeing a home in a stranger, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you have so much to give. So today, I want you to give yourself a break. Stop trying to serve eviction notices to a heart that is just trying to survive the cold. Instead, start building a home for yourself. One that does not require a stranger's permission to exist. If this work touched a hidden room in your heart, please subscribe and join the family. Like and share with someone who might be misnaming a gesture or misnaming their own shadows. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so we can keep walking the streets together. I'm your host, Iheobuna. Stop trying to move into someone else's story and start writing your own. I love you. Good night.